Welcome to the White Towel video panel series. Ed Willis and myself comprise the panel today. We'll tell you all about what's going on with the Canucks, their chase for the playoffs. We also will be doing a podcast later. Subscribe to that if you want to be up to date on all things Canucks. Ed, I know the Canucks didn't get the win in Philadelphia. Obviously, there was an injury which we're not sure about Alex Edler, how serious that is, how far he's going to be out. But this team continues to push themselves into the playoff conversation. And I know earlier in the year, everyone was like, tank, we want Jack Hughes. But is it a bad thing that this team is in February and contending for playoff spots?
No, I think it's a great thing as a matter of fact, and I think it's great on so many different levels. I think, considering what this fan base has endured the last three seasons, like 28, 29, 26, and to finally have a team that is pointed in the right direction, but also playing meaningful games. So that's one aspect of it. But the other one, it's what it says about this team and the direction it's pointing. It says the young players are good enough to compete at this stage of their career for a playoff spot, and there should be growth. It says their goaltending is good enough. It says they've got enough players on the support staff that they can, reasonably expect to improve and maybe, do something in the future. So I don't quite get it. Like the Canucks did an exquisite job of tanking. I've said this before. For 3 years, they just didn't get lucky with the ping pong ball. So you just can't plot it out. Okay, we'll tank, we'll get a first overall pick, it'll be Austin Matthews, and boom, we're off to the races. It just doesn't work that way. So I think all things considered, the fact that they're in the playoff race, and if they make the playoffs, I would defy you to go to those fans and say for the first home playoff game in however many years, do you think it's a good thing the Canucks are in the playoffs or a bad thing?
I could make an argument that if they had the number one pick, they would have taken Nolan Patrick or Nico Hischier instead of Elias Patterson, and would that be getting lucky with the ping pong balls? But when you talk about competitive players and the nature of it and everything that they're going through now, especially at this point in the season, it struck me last night, though it caused everyone to gasp because of the potential of injury, you're seeing a kid like Patterson who, lining up for the Calder Trophy, certainly you have that momentum where he'd like to pad his stats every night, but rushing back to, block a shot, we've seen this before. Like, how impressed are you with the overall makeup of this kid rather than just what he can do with the puck?
That's the most impressive thing for me. And it's funny, the player he reminds me most of is Peter Forsberg. And it's not because stylistically or body type or any of those, but Forsberg had this insane desire to always fight his way back into the play, either in the offensive or the defensive end. And that's what I see in Patterson. The kid is driven, he's got a nonstop motor, and when he has that, everything else falls into place because he's winning the respect of the veterans. He's winning the trust of the coaching staff. So all those pitfalls that you'd think of with a young player, I think he's going to tiptoe around them. And I think he's going to emerge as a leader in another year or two. Just because of the way he plays. But that's it. Like I said, there's always this debate. Who does he remind you? Who does, is he this? Is he that? And for me, he's Forsberg.
And if we look at the rest of the team, I know on the blue line, again, there was some suggestion last night. I mean, this team, you talk about what this fan base has gone through. This fan base also loves scapegoats. And we continue to see struggles of Gabranson and Pouliot together. We have the Edler situation. I would think it's foolish to suggest that they wouldn't try and re-sign Alex Edler at this point. You have guys like Tanev and Hutton that everyone wants to deal for more picks, but this blue line seems so bereft of depth and talent that, where do you see this going through the back half of this season and into the offseason?
Well, they just have to hope Alex Edler's injury isn't serious, and we should say that we're taping this before official word comes out. Travis Green is due to talk to the media later this afternoon in Washington, so we should have a better idea then. I think short term, if it's a short term thing, you can get by. You can put duct tape and binder twine and paper clips and paste together a defense over the short term. Long term, they just can't replace what Edler gives. So to your question, I don't think you can really start taking the Canucks seriously until they upgrade two positions on their blue line. One of those will be Quinn Hughes next year, and I think I just get the feeling they're going to take a long, hard look at Erik Karlsson this offseason. They went down that road before. when you talk to Benning and say, what are your needs? It's almost like he describes Erik Karlsson to a T without naming him by name. So those are your two pieces. There's your upgrade in the Canucks scheme of things. So will it happen? Maybe a 5% chance, but I think that's what, in their perfect world, that's what they see happening.
So what you're suggesting is we're not going to see Jim Benning flip Goodbranson Pouliot and Tyler Mott for a first-round pick at the end of the season.
No, but I will say this. I think it's, I before Monday night, and so before Berchi leaves the team with the mysterious illness, and before Edler goes down, I thought it was pretty clear it was going to be status quo.
Yeah.
And they were just going to let this team play out. Now, the fact that they're kind of perched in this playoff comp, does that change? I don't know. I don't think it does. But, again, the wild card with the Canucks is always ownership, right?
Yeah,
now, are they going to, when they're that close to a playoff spot, are they going to push? Are they going to, we need to do this and we need to do that now? I think that'd be a very dangerous proposition. And I know the plan has always been to follow the plan, the blueprint, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, we'll see if Jim Benning can do anything at the trade deadline to give this team a lift. See what I did there?
Yeah, that was
excellent.
Awesome.
Crickets. All right, everyone.
Great broadcasting skills there.
This is the White Towel panel video. We'll be back with you later this week with a couple of podcasts. Please subscribe, listen, come back. Always, thank you for watching.